Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of 49ers Live. Professor B here at the Satellite Digital Media Studios here in San Francisco. Welcome this Saturday afternoon. Glad you guys are able to join us on this Saturday afternoon here at the studios. 49ers Live. We're going to get you out to Santa Clara in just a few moments for Kyle Shanahan's final report as the 49ers will take on the Carolina Panthers this coming Monday night, and we will have you. We'll have you guys have you on. We'll have you on. Uh, so glad you guys are join us on this Saturday afternoon wherever you are. I know a lot of you guys are watching uh, some college football, and Niners will be taking on the Carolina Panthers. Kickoff time 5:15 on Monday Night Football. Kyle Shanahan's presser will be coming up in just a few moments' time. We'll get you out there in a moment. So the Niners will take on the Rams, or the Panthers, I should say. And this is an important game. And of course, we're going to be talking about the Brandon Aiyuk situation. That's one of the biggest stories. In case you didn't hear, late afternoon yesterday, the the 40 the Niners are gonna void some of that signing bonus void that looks like that they're going to void that contract because according to multiple reports, I think this is from Diana Taurasi from and Michael Silver from the Athletic reports that Kyle, or I should say Brandon Ayuk, kind of have been missing. Really have missed was missing. He ended up missing some practices or not getting to it while he's been on the pup list. He's been missing some time, so not been getting his obligations and some of the team activities and this drama he'd been going on. It's just signed that brand new long term contract, so they're going to probably forfeit or void some of those signing bonuses. Ayuk has been on the missed all of the rest of after turning his ACL and his PCL, MCL, all three knee ligaments last year. Missed the rest of the 24 season and then missing all up to this point, and uncertainty whether he's going to be active to get out. The been placed on the PUP on the physically unable to perform list since late July. I think since late July, since the starting training camp. So a lot of uncertainty whether he's going to make a return this year. We don't know. Kyle Shanahan's about to have his presser coming up. Should be any minute right now. We're just waiting. We're just waiting for a few moments. That we'll have his presser. We'll get you to that. Then we'll hear from the locker room as well. So we got a few minutes. We're gonna just just give you a reminder. Coming at the 49ers take on the Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Football. It will be a 5:15 kickoff. I'll be back out at Levi Stadium. We'll be getting ready to tape for on immediately following Monday night. It will be pretty much a short show. It will be a short, condensed show. A very show. We'll have the press conference And then we'll have post game reaction for the 49er locker room after the game pressers, and then after that, and then on Tuesday will be a special edition of 49ers Live Monday, the special Monday night edition, Monday edition of 49ers Live, special Tuesday edition of 49ers, the Aftermath Tuesday edition. We do that every game after every. We do that every year. We do that every time the Niners play on a Monday night game. We'll do a Tuesday. We'll do it on Tuesdays. We'll do it on Tuesday when the Niners play on Monday Night Football. We'll do it again on Tuesday, December 23rd, about a month from now, when the after the Niners play the Indianapolis Colts. The Niners will be on Monday Night Football twice. They'll play this Monday, coming up Monday night, and then they'll play again on Monday Night Football on the 22nd when they take on the Indianapolis Colts down at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. So we are going to we'll have the Tuesday, then we'll have the recap Tuesday edition the following day. So let's see, we got somebody watching right now. We're going to get to Kyle Shanahan's presser in a few minutes down at Santa Clara. Thank you very much. And it says another one. Glad he's gone if he's not going to be on a team player. I totally agree. The whole thing started last year when he had that long holdout, and they finally were able to sign him before the season. Then he suffered that nasty, serious knee injury. But, there comes a time and a point that, hey, in this day of age of free agency, the money that people are getting, that the money you're earning, that the money you're getting, it's tough to live up to that contract because now you never know when you get your last snap. The injuries will come, and the injuries come very quick, and you don't know how long it takes for you to recover from it. So, I think that not surprising what I'm hearing. Matt Mayoko said some stuff last night on his podcast. I want to try to get some other 49 information. I believe we're going to wait till Kyle Shanahan has his presser down there at Santa Clara. But we're going to try to see what Jennifer Lee Chan thinks about that. She's on the scene of the 49ers pre and post game on NBC Sports Bay Area. And I'm going to be at the Hyatt Regency Hotel watching that game and do my post game after the game. That will be right after the game. Also, so until we're going to hear from Kyle Shanahan in a few moments. And we're going to hear from Jennifer Lee Chan. This was from yesterday, late afternoon, and we're going to hear more about. There's going to be a lot to be said when Kyle has his press conference. So we're going to hear from Miss Jennifer Lee Chan. She's on the 49ers Insiders. She does the podcast with Matt Mayoko, and this was from the breaking news report from yesterday. Let's hear from Miss Jennifer Lee Chan.
Hi, everyone. Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. And first of all, let me preface this. video by saying, I never want to be right about disgruntled players versus the team or team versus the players. No one ever wants to discover that there's a rift in a relationship. And but that is apparently what has happened, and I kind of hinted at it about a month ago that I was wrong about his social media being scrubbed. But the point is, the whole issue is that Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers are not in a good spot relationship wise. And our friends Mike Silver and Diana Rossini reported it, and it is now out in public. And I've known that his contract has been voided. His guarantees have been voided for about a month. And I could not get anyone to corroborate it. So his agent would not comment. He did not comment also to Mike Silver and Diana Rossini. And I kind of got the sense that at the time, the 49ers weren't ready to make it public. So I kind of held on to the information and kind of hinted that I don't think he's going to play this year. I don't think he's um, communicating with the team. I just, as the weeks wore on, and Kyle Shanahan was so quick to say, no, we're not opening the practice window. I just read between the lines. Kyle Shanahan is as honest as he can be. And every time he was asked about Brandon in the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been very quick to say, no, we're not opening the window. It's just week to week. We don't know. And I've said, I think the last time we saw Brandon Aiyuk on the practice field running with the wide receivers was before the Rams game, which has been several weeks. Now, he was definitely working out in front of the reporters when we were all out there at practice, and we have not seen him since. And generally, injured players, we don't see a lot of them, but we'll see them on the side field working with trainers. And as much as Brandon Aiyuk has been rehabbing from his ACL, MCL, meniscus, everything, like incredibly traumatic knee injury, um, we haven't seen him actually working out with the medical staff. We've seen him working kind of shadowing wide receivers when it's practice. But normally, when players are coming back from an injury, we'll see them on the side field during practice working out with the head trainers. When Ricky Pearsall was coming through his PCL injury, we saw him on the side working with trainers. They were testing different things, putting him through certain workouts. Same thing for Brock Purdy, same thing for Bryce Huff, same thing for Jake Brendel. When they have been injured, they have been working on the side field. Now, I'm not saying that every single player that's been injured is out in front of us working out. They're not. We have not seen Fred Warner or Nick Bosa do any rehab at all. Obviously, they are much further behind in the process, but everyone else this is the normal protocol. Basically, what I'm saying is the protocol with Brandon Aiyuk has been abnormal, and it's been abnormal. The behavior has been abnormal for weeks. Really, the last time we've seen him was Rams week when it was they had the nighttime game. I was not there, but it was a nighttime game, and it was Thursday night, and they had a night practice, I think, on Tuesday night, and I didn't go. And I do know that Cam Inman told me that he was out there running his routes, doing that whole kind of shadowing players, and he would run routes next to wide receivers, hanging out with the wide receiver group. But it's been, I mean, that was week 5. It is now week 12. And I'm not saying we haven't seen him since then, but obviously it's been quite some time. I saw him in the locker room shortly after I mistakenly said that he had wiped his social media of anything 49ers. He actually had done that, but it had been months. It was during the summer. So I was wrong on the timing. I went up to Brandon Aiyuk and I apologized and said, hey, I'm sorry. I had the timing off. And he's like, no worries. And didn't make a whole lot of eye contact, didn't seem upset, but didn't seem anything other than what he normally is, just kind of, yeah, whatever. I think when things blow up like that outside of the building, I don't think players, especially on social media, I don't think they take that seriously. I just don't. I think sometimes there are things that do come up that blow up and then players get involved. I think there was something with Claire and George where something inaccurate was being posted about them, and they had to go on social media and say, "Hey, this is not true." Um, but Brandon never came out and said anything. He just kept quiet. And now it appears that there's definitely a separation between Brandon Aiyuk and the Niners, and that his guarantees on his contract have been voided. And Diana Rossini and Mike Silver have reported that he has not tried to fight the claim of the 49ers. And basically, what the 49ers are saying is that he has not participated in meetings. He has not been around the building doing participating in team activities. There are certain things that they require, and because he has not been participating, he is not compliant with his contract, and thus the guarantees are voided, is what they have said. So um, I don't know what is going on literally with him, with Brandon Aiyuk, but I hope he's okay. I hope everything's okay with him, because to separate yourself from your team, your brothers, is shocking. And I would think that he'd be at least close enough to his teammates to um, discuss if he's okay, what's going on. Um, the report that they also said that a couple teammates have reached out to him and tried to get him back on the field, tried to get him back into the good graces of the 49ers, and it has not happened. So it's just really unfortunate. Never like putting out stories like this. I hope he's okay. And, it looks like the 49ers will release him at the end of the year, and he will be free to sign with another team. And I don't know what else could happen, but it looks like he is not going to suit up or be a part of the 49ers organization again. So the reports are that he comes in and works out early, leaves before teammates come in. He really doesn't see anyone. So I hope that he's okay, because isolationist behavior is worrying. So the 49ers are going to have to move ahead with Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, Kendrick Bourne, Sky Moore, Demarcus Robinson, and maybe that means that they draft a wide receiver next year. They'll get a good view of Tet McMillan in the Carolina game coming up on Monday Night Football, a guy who was the buzz of the combine last year. And, Ricky Pearsall's making his way back as well. Just unfortunate situation. So, um, any more news that I hear, I will bring it to you here. But I think the general consensus of everybody with the 49ers, with the organization, is that it's upsetting. It's sad. Um, I've asked several people higher up in the organization, what's happening with him, what's going on, and everybody said, we love him. It's just, it's sad. So it's unfortunate, but it appears that Brandon Ayuk's time with the 49ers is over. So I'll have more news for you tomorrow, which is Saturday. The 49ers have a light practice, a walkthrough on Saturday. We do have media access. So I'll be up there, and Kyle Shanahan's going to talk, and I'm sure he'll have to address this whole thing. So there'll be more coming to you after practice tomorrow. All right.
For Lee Chan from one of the 49ers insiders from our friends from NBC Sports Bay Area, and just the sadness of what's happened with Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, this is like we say, this is a humbling game. The sadness on this. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll get back to it. Kyle Shanahan will have his final update before the Niners take on the Panthers. I believe they're going to have. I think they may be just finishing their walkthrough. We don't know yet. We will we will get you back. We'll get you to Santa Clara when it's available. So let's take this quick timeout. We'll take a timeout and we'll get back to it. And when Kyle Shanahan's presser is ready to go, we'll send you right out to Santa Clara. Professor B, you're watching 49ers Live here on Niners Radio 49. We'll be right back. Welcome back to 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. Professor B here. We, we're here at our studios in San Francisco. 49ers Live. Niners are getting finishing up, going through their walkthrough Saturday afternoon. We hopefully we could get Kyle Shanahan to come on the presser down in Santa Clara. I don't think he's not ready, and I don't know if he may not because of the Brandon Aiyuk thing. May not answer a lot of questions. We're gonna wait as long as we can possibly can. So if we're not able to give you Kyle Shanahan's presser from live from Santa Clara, we apologize. That's kind of out of our control. But my thoughts about the whole thing with Brandon Aiyuk, you knew what was coming when the whole holdout thing. He held out, missed just about all but training camp, and then ended up tearing his ACL last year. I think gets the Chiefs, and then things kind of really have snowballed ever since that long holdout. And just it puts me in my and I think Kyle Shanahan's getting ready to come on right now.
Sorry, maybe it's the same question I couldn't hear, but you want to get into specifics. So what happened in July to cause that voiding?
I'm not going to get into specifics with that. There was a number of things from July that, to me, is more of a business side, dealing with lawyers and stuff and contracts and stuff that is really not my area of expertise.
This is a guy, obviously, the team felt, and you felt good enough to give a very large contract not very long ago. Is there disappointment that it's gotten to this with Brandon and 49ers?
Yeah, of course. I've been coaching over 20 years, and I've never been in a situation where a contract's been voided, so it's extremely unusual to me.
And personally, I imagine you were very in support of him getting a new contract. We know how weird that negotiation was. But do you feel let down by the situation?
Yeah, I'm not really there yet. Like, I know everyone got a lot of information yesterday. That was information that I found out in July and kind of dealt with it then. And to me, the contract stuff and guarantees and things like that is really, it's irrelevant to my relationship with the player and my relationship with our team and what we're trying to do this year. I know I went through that stuff and talked to him a lot about it back in July. But since July, it's been all about this season and hoping he would get healthy, and he's been working to get healthy, and I've been waiting for him to come back when he's healthy.
Is it realistic to expect the player to come back and play once his guarantees have been voided?
I don't know, I've never been in that situation, so I really don't think about that. I just think about people coming back when they're healthy.
People look at that mechanism and say it's very unlikely he would be on the team next year. How likely do you view that as a possible scenario?
What happened in July, to me, in my opinion, doesn't have anything to do with the future. That had to do with circumstances that, to me, were out of a coach's hand. You know, best way I can explain it, when it comes to business matters and lawyers and contracts and things like that. When it comes to the future of this, I mean, I would love for BA to be here. I would love for him to get healthy and get back to really helping us out and being a part of this team. We haven't had that in a little bit, and I still hold out hope that he can get there, but he obviously hasn't gotten there yet.
So the voiding of his contract, we can't say in any way if it was tied to any sort of conduct or behavior from him?
No, I think you can figure that out on yourself. I mean, it takes a lot of things to get a contract voided. I didn't even know, honestly, I've never dealt with that in my career. I've been in any building that's had that, so it was unusual, but that's stuff that I can't get into right now.
Brandon, you had Brandon and you had Debo, both in their 20s, both highly productive players. The idea that obviously Debo's been traded, and we don't know what's going to happen with Brandon after this season. Is there some sense, like, does it feel like a loss? Does it feel like something really weird happened here to get to this point, or is it a natural occurrence? Like, how do you just? These are two really important players for this team that may not. One of them already is gone. Do you just have any sense on what's happened here?
I mean, I think in Debo's case, I think it's very hard for teams in the NFL to keep two very high-priced receivers. And I think both of those guys were like that when they hit their market. So that's why you don't see that on many teams. So I think that's pretty normal. What you guys found out yesterday, or that was public, I know that's unusual, so I get all those questions about it. But that is something that happened 3 or 4 months ago, whenever that was, and something that's been completely out of sight, out of mind in terms of a contract. The only thing I've been thinking about is hoping he can get healthy and come back and play for us.
Early in training camp, you spoke to Brandon, being engaged, in the team meetings, being around the team. What changed?
You'd have to ask him that.
Is he still doing rehab in the mornings, Kyle, and then getting out of here? Is he going to meetings at all?
Not meetings, but I didn't check today. I know he was at rehab yesterday, though.
Is there any concern about him as a person? The story yesterday mentioned that some of the other players have reached out to him to try to kind of bring him back into the locker room.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right platform to talk about concerns for a person, but concerned about all people on our team. And we do care a lot about BA, but rather not talk about that.
When you were saying he was kind of engaged with the team, was that born of a conversation that the team had to have with him? And is that what sparked, or like what is the difference?
You'd have to ask him that. But no, he was a lot more involved in stuff back in training camp and things like that. It's a long year when guys rehab. We start to go through our game plan meetings, which is why a lot of guys on IR aren't involved in many meetings until they get closer to play. And we hope that he's getting closer to play, but he hasn't got there yet.
How do you feel about just what you have going in Monday night that you've had for the last couple months in terms of the receiving corps? It's essentially at full staff now then without Brandon.
I feel real good. I think our guys have stepped it up all year. We've been in a lot of tough situations, especially earlier on. When we lost Ricky, Juwan not being healthy, D-Rob on a suspension. So I think guys, KB, Sky, all these guys have stepped it up big time. Even the tight ends, with Kittle going out, Luke stepped it up, and I think JJ's at his healthiest point right now that he's been all year, which is awesome. And getting Ricky back last week is a huge step for us. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he had a serious injury back in training camp. I think he missed like 3 weeks and got cleared for week 1. But like you guys been doing all this long enough too. Usually when a guy misses camp because of injury, it takes him a while, and he's battled through that. I know he played through a lot of stuff early on, getting back. But I really feel now he's playing at his highest level, the best he's been all year, and I've seen him improve here over the last 4 weeks.
A random question I'll just ask. You've always deferred when you win the coin toss, go on defense first. At this point, with all the injuries on defense and all your offensive guys mainly coming back, would you think about taking the ball first if winning the coin toss, or is it just strictly you're going to defer and take the ball to start the second half?
Well, I usually side with the analytics of what gives you the best percentage to have the most possessions. If we got really worried about the other team scoring first, and we thought being down 3-0, 7-0 was the biggest difference, then I would defer. I mean, then I would choose to have the ball. I don't think really in any absolutes, but it is hard to convince me that the best chance to win is the best percentage of having the ball the most.
McCaffrey question and Ed McCaffrey question. I know that you admired him when you were a teenager. Were you thinking at that point that this could be somebody that I could be in Ed McCaffrey, in 10 years, that sort of thing?
I did, because I didn't know enough about football. I idolized Ed and Rod, but that ship sailed, I think, when I was an insecure, very skinny junior, and I was talking to Ed and thinking he'd make me feel better, and I was like, man, but how much did you weigh in high school? You were pretty skinny too. When did you get all big? And he's like, oh, I was a tight end in high school. I had to lose weight when I went to college, and that's when I realized, even though I shit up on my own, that we're not at all the same guy.
You mentioned that the team's obviously better with Brandon Aiyuk. How frustrating is it when the business of the league overrides the sport?
I don't know. I mean, it's any time you have a good player that has been a part of this team that guys have really loved, and coaches included, and it's frustrating that's not happening right now. And but when you talk about like now and stuff, that's what I kind of went through some of this frustration back in July. I thought after we went through that, I thought things went pretty well, though, that we would have a chance for him to come back and play for us, and I'm still holding out hope on that.
It'll be July before training camp.
Yeah, right when training camp started. So whatever that date is, it's that week of July.
The conversation you had with him, the focus was to try to eliminate as much of the distraction of his contract situation from the team.
What,
Try to,
from when?
when you had that conversation with Brandon in July, about his contract situation, was your focus on trying to eliminate that as a distraction?
Yeah, I think it was a while ago. So, but no, it was more just when big things happen, you want to talk to guys about it, see where they're at about it, catch up on it, like understand what's going on and get on the same page. And I think that's really what it was about. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, that's Kyle Shanahan. His thoughts about Brandon Aiyuk. This thing had been brewing for quite some time before they probably have voided his contract before this officially came out to the public, and according to Michael Silver and Dan Tarazzi from The Athletic, and so we know. Looks likely he probably has played his last game, and and I think it's a possibility. If you're not gonna activate him, you may as well just shut him down for the rest of the year. Just either deactivate him or place him on the season-ending IR, and then you officially will part ways after the season concluded. And then, the Niners receiving core, of course, Juan Jennings, he wants more money. His contract is up at the end of the year. KJ Boyd's contract's going to be up at the end of the year. So there's a lot of uncertainty with the 49ers receiving core going forward. So, you know, so we'll see what's going to happen. Will we continue to follow this story as it develops? So we are going to let's take a break for a minute. We'll take a timeout and then we'll get right back to you. We'll have more. As you hope you join your Saturday afternoon with us here at the Satellite Digital News Center here in San Francisco. Professor B, you're watching 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. On Niners Radio 49. And we got a couple of special features we're going to do on Niners Radio 49, just a little off field. But just a reminder coming up next Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, it will be the annual San Francisco High School Section Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl Championship. It will be the George Washington Eagles taking on the defending city section and state champion Balboa Buccaneers next Thursday. That will be at Kezar Stadium, the original home of the San Francisco 49ers. They will that will be coming up at 11 a.m. And I'm going to be out there, going to be doing a little news story this week on the head coach, the first year head coach, Javon Shannon. We're going to post that on both on Niners Radio 49 and on our main page, Satellite Digital Media, on our flagship page, Satellite Digital Media. We're gonna get that ready for this week. We'll get some players, get you ready for Soup Turkey Bowl Thursday, and we're going to do a few segments coming up. Our next segment we'll have separate siblings reunite through 49ers connection, and then on another one we'll do how Austin turned fatherhood into an impact. You're going to enjoy that in a few moments. So, reminder: the San Francisco Section Championship Turkey Bowl at Keystar Stadium in Golden Gate Park. That was the original home of the San Francisco 49ers. That will be 11 a.m. on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. It's going to be a big Thanksgiving week. We got a big week coming up, the week of the holidays, as we now into late November, as the days now are getting shorter and shorter days and long nights, and the weather turns into the chill, and so it's going to be a great one. We have Niners, Panthers on Monday night. Then it's the annual Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl high school game. Niners Radio 49 along with Satellite Digital Media will be out there for that coverage. Then it's Thursday night football, or not. Then it's football all day Thursday. Then it's more football on Friday, Black Friday football, as the Chicago Bears will be headed to the Monsters of the Midway, headed east to the city of brotherly love to take on the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles on for Thursday night football. And then after that, after Black Friday, the Niners next Sunday, 1 week from tomorrow, will travel to Northern Ohio to take on the Cleveland Browns for an interconference game 1 week from tomorrow. And that will be a 10 a.m. kickoff. That will, I believe, will be on CBS. I believe CBS is part of has the doubleheader. That'll be the first part of that doubleheader, the early window, 10 a.m. We'll have 49ers Live postgame immediately following the contest. So, what's going to take this time out when we come back, and we will, we got a cool segment coming up. We're going to do, coming up, I want to tape this, and this segment is Siblings Reunite Through the 49er Connection Worldwide Faithful. So I will have this segment, and then we'll do that segment, and then we'll also have 49ers flashback. Actually, we're gonna take this time out. We'll take a quick time out, and then we'll figure it all out what we're gonna do next. You're watching 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. Welcome back to 49ers Live. Professor B for 49ers Niners Radio 49 on this Saturday afternoon. We are going to have in our next segment, we're going to do 49ers flashback. We're going to do 49ers flashback if we can do it. No, no. Yeah, we're going to pull that up in just a moment as and while we're doing that, the 49ers, we're going to take you in our Niners Radio 49 flashback segment. We are going to this is a Week 12 matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams down at Anaheim Stadium in Los Angeles. We're going to show you that clip in just a moment. This was back on this date, 30 or 44 years ago on this was we're going to show you that clip in just a moment. And then we're going to it was on this, and then we will also, so hope you enjoy this clip. This was a Niners Radio 49 flashback, so that was a big victory for the 49ers. They go on to knock off the Rams in a big divisional game. Worshing hitting a game-winning walk-off field goal back in week number the Niners went to 6-2, or earlier back in week 8, the Niners beat the Rams out at Candlestick Park. They end up winning that game at Candlestick Park, and with their first victory over the Niners got their first win against the Rams at home since 1966, and their first time they've ever beaten the Rams at home at Candlestick Park. So the Niners going into this game, a win, going on a come from behind win, gave them the victory. We will. And the Niners got a big victory off that. So let's give you the stats from that game. Niners end up winning that game by a score of 33-31. In that game, I believe Amos Lawrence had a 92-yard kickoff return to start the second half, and the third score a touchdown, and then Ryan Lott had a 25-yard pick six interception, returned it an interception return pass. He picked off a pass from the Rams' former Houston Oiler and veteran Dan Pastorini, took it for a touchdown. Then Joe Montana drove them down the field. The Niners were down by a point, and they're going to win it. And look at some of the stats of the game. Joe Montana threw for 283 yards. He threw no touchdowns in the contest. Dan Pastorini was 8 out of 18 for 79 yards and a touchdown as well. And that was it proved to be a big win for the 49ers, because with the win, the Niners improved to 9-3. The Rams, with that loss, dropped to 5-7. And that pretty much for the Rams, that loss pretty much all intents and purposes ended any hopes of the Rams of making the playoffs, pretty much knocked them out mathematically, while the 49ers improved to 9-3, moves one step closer towards getting a playoff spot, getting one step closer towards winning the NFC West. And by the way, for the 49ers, that was their first season sweep over the Rams since 1965. And you could see that rivalry was kind of the changing of the guard of that rivalry. And now the Niners at 9-3, getting stepped towards winning the NFC West. So that was a great flashback memory from that year, 1981. Niners on this day beating the Rams 33-31 on a walk-off field goal by Ray Warshing. So now next up on Niners Radio 49, we are going to have a segment called Separate 49er Faithful segment, and our video courtesy of 49ers.com via 49ers Studios. So this is a segment we're going to, it's called Siblings Reunite Through 49ers Connection Worldwide Faithful. So I hope you enjoy this segment, and hope you enjoy this piece. So we're going to get ready to share it with you. Get ready to share it with you.
I'm Frederick from Norway. Flew over from Oslo. It's 8,200 kilometers away from the Bay and San Francisco. So it's a long story, but it started with me and my sister sending me. Okay, so I need to do the background story to everything. So I was born and raised in Norway, but I also knew that I had my family, half of my family over in the US.
My brother and I, we knew of each other. He drew pictures and, were mailed to me specifically.
We didn't have contact, or we stayed in contact, in touch for 7 years, but then we lost it due to, life happens.
So I remember with my parents, we would go out shopping and we would send him care packages. And I remember going through the mall, through the stores, and picking out specific things.
And so when I was 7 or 6, I think my sister had picked out a hoodie and a hat from the 49ers. And so ever since that, I've always known of the team, but being in Norway, back in the day, we didn't have cable TV or anything like that. So
it's crazy because I was young, but I remember putting these care packages for my brother specifically and sending them over to Norway. It was just something that represented where we were. And, I was born and raised in San Mateo, so it was just something that came.
I didn't know the culture or how, you guys have the tailgating on all of those different aspects to it. I think it's about the community and the cultural, and I wanted to experience that.
I spent relentless hours looking for my brother. I know our Hispanic community is very familiar with saga. Sent emails and made phone calls. I would spend crazy amount of hours going through the Norwegian phone book
My sister found me on Messenger, and she found me through a Facebook page for Americans in Norway. And there was this cute lady. She helped her, and yeah, we got in contact.
At times when I felt like giving up, it was crazy that it was actually happening. Our other sister, and I called our dad, and I said, "You're not gonna believe this, but I think I found my brother." I remember one of the first things we did, obviously we hugged, but I had all my 49ers swag ready for him. So I got him a jersey and hats and t-shirts, I think. So I just, it was one of those things. I'm like, "You're one of us." And I'm like, "You're from the Bay now."
Oh, it means a lot. Just might ask my lady, because our house is full of gear now, and I watch all the games, so I wanna incorporate the cultural, the way of things that is being done here to back in Norway.
All right, that was another segment. That was a great story. Two siblings across from another world and then out here in the Bay Area. That was a great story. The Niner faithful all over the globe, and that touch and that love as we get close towards the kickoff of the unofficial kickoff of the holiday season, and so much to be thankful for. So let's now go to our next segment on Niners Radio 49. We are going to, it's Austin Pleasance and Turned Fatherhood, another great piece. And we are going to, and we're going to show you that piece coming up. So hope you enjoy this next segment, and which it begins right now.
Are you excited to see your cleats?
Oh, I am excited. Yeah.
Okay, well, they're right here in front of you for this year's My Cause, My Cleats initiative. Let's take a look.
Cool. Oh, man. That's really cool. I love the way they turned out.
Yeah, they're awesome. What do you see when you're looking at them? What are some of the details that really stand out to you?
The orange, because that's the color that represents limb difference and bringing awareness to that. And then the Lucky Finn Project logo, it was really important to me that that was on there, because that has brought my family a lot of hope and share experience that's helped us out a lot. So.
You have a very personal and special connection to this cause. You welcomed a second beautiful baby boy, Bo, in March. Tell me about what that experience was like for you and a little bit more about Bo.
Yeah, so he's been such a blessing, At first it was a little bit of a shock because at our 20-week ultrasound, we found out that he was going to be born a little bit different, He has what's called Hanhart syndrome. It's a rare condition that affects his limbs. So he was born with half of his legs and half of his arms. So at first it was a huge shock. We quickly shifted what was a pretty dark moment, and it's such a blessing. That's what he's been so far. He's been nothing but a blessing. He's the happiest baby boy ever, regardless of what he's got going on. He's the biggest fighter and strongest kid that I know. And we spent the first 4 or 5 weeks in the NICU because he also had some jaw anomalies that affected his breathing. But yeah, it's just been such a huge eye-opening experience too, and definitely shifted my perspective on what was possible. When you have a child like that, you're always wondering, what his life's going to be like. With any baby, you kind of play the tape forward and are excited. Organizations like the Lucky Finn Project, that's given us a lot of hope to be able to see what his life can be like and giving us a lot of hope for the future.
How did Bo inspire you to support the Lucky Finn Project this season, and how special is it for you to highlight that organization with your cleats?
Yeah, so it's very special because while we were in the hospital, we actually found out about the Lucky Finn Project, and it provides a lot of educational resources for families affected by limb difference, and it also kind of helps build a community of other families that have been affected by limb difference. So really just the message that they carry and the hope that it gave us and gives, future families is huge.
What have you learned from Bo as he lives with limb differences, and how has it shifted your perspective on life?
We've learned a lot of patience. We've learned how to celebrate the small victories, and we've learned that really anything is possible, no matter what you're going through, whatever your situation may be. There's always hope for the happy, fulfilling life.
When someone with limb difference gets to see your cleats, because you're going to be playing on prime time, what do you hope they take away from the message you're trying to send?
I hope they take away that no matter what your difference is, you can inspire people, you can live happy, healthy lives, and just because you're different doesn't mean you can't take part in life.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how do you hope your journey with Bo can inspire others that are going to be watching you and Bo's journey throughout, your entire lives?
I hope our journey can, show people affected by limb difference that you can still enjoy everything that, this world has to offer, and that, no matter what, I'm always gonna love my son. It doesn't matter how different he is. He didn't choose to be born the way he was, and I'm gonna give him every opportunity to have a happy life. So.
Yeah, well, Austin, first off, I just want to say thank you so much for opening up and sharing your story with Bo. It is truly so inspiring, and I can't wait to see you wearing those cleats come Monday Night Football.
All right. So that was Brianna Janelle, the 49ers team reporter on that great story. So coming up now, we're going to another segment on Niners Radio 49. Dominic Lenore honors on who inspired him on this cleats giveaway week. So we're going to get ready to share you that information. We're going to get ready to this segment. All right, that was another segment. Dominic Minor, they're having this week of donating cleats. Players around the league going to be wearing different cleats for tonight or for Monday Night Football this weekend in week number 12. As we're going to get ready to have our final segment on Niners Radio 49, where time is now at 2:40. That's means it's 10 minutes past the bottom of the hour, and it's 20 minutes before the top of the hour at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time here in the San Francisco Bay Area, here in our satellite digital media studios. And we're going to have our final segment with the Shoeshine Man, Elijah One. Shoeshine Man, we got a chance to talk to him on Niners Radio 49, our newest installment for this year, Word on the Street. You talk about the Niners win over the Arizona Cardinals as we'll share you this segment and coming up. So we got Shoeshine Man coming up, talking about the Niners, and then we'll wrap it up. Then we'll have our fun. Then we'll wrap it up. Then we'll have our wrap it up for this afternoon. So Professor B, watching 49ers live on Niners Radio 49. We were going to. So we're going to get that video ready for you right now. Shoeshine Man, his segment, and then we'll wrap it up. So here is the Shoeshine Man in Niners Radio 49 Word on the Street segment. With a win over the Arizona Cardinals, they go 1-1 in the division. As now we turn the page, they're getting ready this week to take on the Carolina Panthers for Monday Night Football. So bounce back game. Unfortunately, they lose Tatum Bethune to the high ankle sprain. He's going to miss some games, and then Eddie Pinheiro, who's been automatic, just 2 extra points, had 1 extra point blocked and missed, and then end up suffer hamstring injury. He's going to be out for Monday night and possibly going to miss the Cleveland game. Probably will not be back until at least December 14th when the Niners take on the Tennessee Titans when they following their bye week.
Well, we better be ready for the Panthers. NFL, when we play any NFL team, everybody's good. So don't play to nobody's level but your own level. Every time the 49ers go out there and play, they should be hungry and not let nobody take that trouble. So it should be no problem. We're going to beat the Panthers.
All right, and then, Shoeshine Man, we'll talk to you again next week. Next week, of course, is going to be a very short week because of the Thanksgiving holiday week. So, we'll be back here next week. And, hey, go Niners.
All the way, let's go. Super Bowl. The only thing on our minds is the Super Bowl. Anything else less is unsuccessful. We don't want that. The Super Bowl is in our mind. Let's go Niners.
All right. That is the Shoeshine Man, Elijah One, here from downtown San Francisco, here at a picture of shot here at the Financial District. We look at the California Street Cable Car. Professor B for 49ers. Niners Radio, Word on the Street on Niners Radio. Yeah, we taped that this week. We do that every week. Niners Radio 49 Word on the Street segment, and get you ready for 49ers and the Panthers for Monday Night Football. Kickoff time 5:15. I'll be back out there at Santa Clara. We'll be taping a special edition of 49ers Live Holiday Edition Tailgate on Niners Radio 49. And also, we'll be doing a holiday special for the week of Thanksgiving. We're going to do some segments. We'll piece together something later in the week. Thanksgiving week next week, starting the kickoff of the holiday season, a week of the time to be thankful and so much to be thankful for. So we like to just thank you all for, you know, like to thank you all for being on the show and just so much to be thankful for this week for this Thanksgiving holiday time. So though a lot of you out here, some don't have families able to celebrate holidays, and I know a lot of friends who have lost loved ones, parents, due to either a tragedy or sickness in recent times. And just the important thing is family is the first thing in your priority. So we thank you all for being on today. We'll hopefully have another update later on and have a quick show tomorrow. We may, if time allows, we'll do an update on our flagship station, Satellite Digital Media, and we are gonna and so forth. So in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Niners Panthers for Monday Night Football, 5:15. We'll be we'll be right out there at the Hilton immediately following the contest on Monday night. We'll have a very short post game recap, and then it's a short week. The annual Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl game, George Washington versus Balboa, next on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, 11 a.m. at Kezar Stadium. Hope we'll be out there, and we're gonna have, it's gonna be a good one. And then after that, we'll have I'll be doing interviews with interviewing both the winners and losers, both sides, and it'll be a great week. And then then the Niners will play the Browns 1 week from tomorrow up in Cleveland, and we'll preview the Browns on the short week. And then and then the Niners after Monday night 2 weeks from tomorrow will be their bye week. Finally, they'll get a bye week after 2 weeks from tomorrow, or for this weekend will be their bye week. They'll enjoy that great bye week, and then 3 weeks from tomorrow, they'll be back at home to take on the Tennessee Titans for an interconference game. After this game today, after Monday night's game, the Niners will have 3 kids after, and then they'll begin 3 of the next 4 games. The first will be 3 of their next 4 weeks. Their next 3 straight games after, which outside of the bye week on December 7th, will be interconference games. They'll take on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Then 2 weeks after that, then in 3 weeks from tomorrow, they'll take on the Tennessee Titans, and then they'll play the Indianapolis Colts exactly a month from now. They'll take on the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium for Monday Night Football. The Niners are going to be in a stretch after, they'll play the Panthers, then they'll play Cleveland the following Sunday. Then it's their bye 2 weeks from tomorrow, be on their bye week. When they come back from their bye week, they will have 3 of their final 4 games will be at Levi Stadium. And this will be a golden opportunity for the Niners to really get some good wins and position themselves. Remember, the Niners will they'll finish up after their bye week. They'll play the Tennessee Titans. Then after that, they go on Monday Night Football on the 22nd to take on the Colts. Short week. Then they'll play the Chicago Bears for Sunday Night Football on NBC. And then on January 4th, 3rd or the 4th, they'll play the Seattle Seahawks, where they'll wear the black uniforms. Either it's going to be on a Saturday night or a Sunday to be determined. And the Niners, they could be playing for the division title as well. But the Niners, if they can keep on winning, if they're within a game of the Seahawks or the Rams or both, or those 2 teams are tied going into that final Sunday, the Niners could still have an outside chance of playing for the NFC West title. So that's going to do it for now. Professor B, I'd like to thank all of you watching 49ers Live this afternoon. Unfortunately, sorry what things didn't turn out well for Brandon Aiyuk. The Niners most likely will move on from him. But we'll have more on that in the coming days ahead. We're going to try to get some guests to come on later this coming week. Get somebody from the Cleveland Browns to come on to preview the 49ers and the Cleveland Browns. And after the Panthers game. We'll be back at the Hilton or at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Santa Clara right after 49ers football for 49ers Live post-game afterwards of the game. That's it for now. Signing off. Thank you for watching 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. Enjoy yourself a pleasant good afternoon.